This is what happens when Korea decides to go guns blazing, the GV70. And it's one of the most impressive cars we've filmed so far. Well, where are you going?
In this video, we'll show you why out of all the cars we filmed, this is the coolest.
To prove that it's the coolest, we'll talk you through the exterior. It kind of looks like the Ferrari Porosangwe. The Ferrari Porosangwe. This looks like the Ferrari Porosangwe.
And we'll talk you through the interior. Shade is a problem? Oh, don't worry, you got it covered. There you go. How cool is that?
And we'll take you for a drive to see what it feels like. We've driven so many luxury cars and this is by far the best.
You're watching Total Talk. This is a Genesis GV70 Signature Sport, a car that has genuinely changed our opinion on Korean cars. Genesis is the luxury division of Hyundai, just like Lexus is the luxury line of Toyota. But keep watching, you'll see why this is way cooler than a Lexus. To prove to you how cool this car is, let us talk to you through some of the coolest features of this car.
For a car that's only $98,000, you get remote start. All you have to do is lock and then hold this whole button and the car turns on. And it's not just that, you also get remote parking assistance, which is pretty cool. So all you have to do is just press this key and the car does this. It does this. See what I mean? How cool is that? And not just one way, it comes back as well. Oh, that's pretty cool. For just $98,000, that's cool. The coolest thing of the GV70 is not that cool exterior. It's something much better. It's the attention to detail that Genesis has gone for. So let me show you something very cool. Inside, on your driver's display, you do get that small Genesis car. The thing is, if you brake, that lights up. If you indicate, that lights up. How cool is this? The attention to detail on the GV70 is absolutely immaculate.
Now this car does not get a boot opening button over here, but it gets it over here on the rear wiper arm, which makes it quite easy when you're carrying all the groceries and you don't need to go like that.
Finally, let me walk you through some of this tech that this car has. I'm going to read some of this out. Anti-collision systems, lane keep assist, lane follow assist, highway lane change assist. It's loaded with tech, and the coolest thing is the rear cross traffic anti-collision system. I had to read that statement out, but basically what it does is if you're reversing, this car will sense any cars that are coming on the opposite ways and it will not let you back out into a collision. That's pretty cool from Hyundai. Another cool feature that this car gets is the fact that you get your augmented reality maps on your driver's display, and this makes driving so much easier.
However, not everything's cool about the car, so here's a few annoying features of it.
Starting with the gear lever. Another thing is you get two knobs over here which look very identical. The thing is, everyone who's driven this car tried to select gears and they ended up changing things on the infotainment system, which is funny. But me having driven it over 2 weeks, I'll still do that. So the placement is a bit annoying.
For a car with so much luxury, it is missing an essential part. Soft close goes. It doesn't have it.
And the most annoying feature of them all is honestly the number of warnings that you get on this car. So this bit is a sensor that recognizes if you're looking at the road or not. So you look into the infotainment to change your song, it beeps. You go 1 kilometer over the speed limit, it beeps. You go right near the line, it beeps. This thing beeps like its life is dependent on it. And the worst thing is, you can't turn those safety features off permanently. You have to turn it off every single time you start the car. That's annoying. Before you go on with the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. We're a small channel and any support helps. Also, watch it till the end because that's literally the metric that YouTube looks for. And yeah, like and subscribe. Back to the video.
I think it's safe to say that the car is already better than what you expected. So let's double down on that and talk about the exterior design.
Okay, let's go over the exterior of this car now. I don't have to say this, but this is one of the most beautiful SUVs ever made. Let's start with the front headlights. They look absolutely amazing, and there's this very cool startup sequence which I will cue in now. Yes, that was pretty cool, right? Anyway, back to the grille now. This is not your standard grille. It's integrated and it feels very expensive. You also get this bottom lip, which is a secondary color, and I think black and blue on this car is absolutely stunning. Now, let's move on to the side of this car. Now, the key thing is there is no chrome on this car. There's a bit of chrome, but then it's more of the alloy color rather than a chrome color. you do get this beautiful paint matched side mirrors. Back to the wheels. Okay, 21 inches, and the very cool thing about these wheels are they're Michelin Pilot Sports Force for SUVs. That's pretty cool from the factory itself. To any of you that don't know what that means, they're basically the Rolexes of the entire world. Now, the side profile of this car, the GV80 I think looks cool, but I think the GV70 is the best looking SUV ever made. To me, this is the most beautiful SUV. It kind of looks like the Ferrari Purosangue. The Ferrari Purosangue. This looks like the Ferrari Purosangue. And I think design-wise, from the side and the front, Genesis, you guys are perfect at this car. I absolutely love this color. I love the spec. I love the grey wheels as well. Okay, now at the back, this gets even cooler. I do love the slope design of this. I don't really like the GV80 design, which is the coupe variant. This is what you have to go for. Now, this is a debate. Is it a four-wheel drive badge or an all-wheel drive badge? He said all-wheel drive, I'm saying four-wheel drive. That's four-wheel drive. Anyway, now, at the back, I do love these rear taillights which extend all the way to the side as well. The car is a bit dusty from yesterday, unfortunately. Anyway, do love the badging as well. I think they should have blacked out the badges as well. But anyway, I think that this is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. I do like the... I'm not too sure what shape you call this, but I do prefer this over the previous generation oval exhaust because that looks cooler. And you do get a sort of a... well, it's not a diffuser. That's not going to diffuse anything. But overall, now I will confidently say this. This is the best looking car I have tested so far. I've tested the Huracan as well, but I kind of prefer this look.
So far, the GV70 is a cool car which looks absolutely stunning. So, let's talk about what this costs and what powers this beautiful machine.
Now underneath you get a 2.5 liter signature sport engine, which essentially means it is a 4-cylinder turbo engine which puts out 300 horsepower, 422 Nm of torque. It drives via an all-wheel drive system and it has an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now for competition, you have the BMW X3 and the Audi SQ5. Now compared to them, this is only $98,000 drive away. And trust me, it's absolutely worth it.
The thing is, you can also get this as a V6 twin turbo, which is basically a GTR engine, but that produces 375 horsepower and 530 Newton meters of torque. To be honest, I would recommend that engine over the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder because to match the beautiful exterior of this car, I would suggest a high and a more powerful engine. Anyway, like Gavin said, so competition, you get the BMW X3 and the Audi SQ5. Here's the thing, if you get the X3, the thing is people will look at it like it's just another BMW. If you get the Audi SQ5, they'll think just another Audi. But if you get this is aura in its greatest form. People think that this is an Aston Martin. People think this is a Bentley. I would highly suggest this over any of those cars. And I love German cars, but I would suggest this.
Yep, it's hard to believe that it's just $98,000. Anyway, let us talk you through its interior and you'll see why it's worth that price.
Okay, let's do a quick POV of the interior. Now let's start here. This is where you get basically all of your window controls. This is your child lock, which is pretty cool. And these buttons look very, very high quality. Now that's something I love. You also get memory seats, which is pretty cool. And back to the steering wheel. I think this is one of the best steering wheels that I've seen so far. It feels very, very luxurious. It's thick, it's also a flat bottom, and it looks pretty cool. Now let's move on here. Like I showed you before, that's a little Genesis which lights up. I think that's pretty cool. Digital driver's display, which I think is amazing. The thing is, this is different to the Hyundai one, and this driver's display extends all the way to be your infotainment system, and I do love this. Now this is where you get most of your car settings as well. You do get a mode curator where you can opt for a massage. Now there's 4 different modes, and you can get a massage. It's not a proper massage though. And I forgot to mention one thing, you get Bang & Olufsen sound system, and it sounds pretty amazing. Now this is where you get your shortcuts, which I think is pretty cool. And something even cooler, your AC control system. I think this looks fantastic. This is for your seating settings, and this is for your front, and you can also control the rear. That's something pretty cool. Now the thing is, this makes the car feel so much more premium. It honestly makes me feel like I'm driving a Bentley. Moving below, you get your gear lever, and this is to control your infotainment system, which I think is handy because that makes it easier. Now you get a wireless charger here. The problem is Hyundai and Genesis wireless chargers are absolute dog shit, and you get plenty of space for 2 cup holders, well, 2 cups. Now this is cool as well. You do get a UV sterilizer system over here, and you can put your personal belongings and it'll come out cleaner. Now the design of this, I think this is one of the most beautiful interiors that I've seen so far.
And the seats, they're electronically adjustable, cooled and heated. And when you put it on sports mode, it hugs you like a Recaro seat. Now overall, this interior is absolutely lovely. Now starting off in the back, you get this massive panoramic roof, which is quite cool. And if you're a kid like me, it's quite interesting in the night. Now for the space, you get plenty of leg space, you get plenty of head space. And if you come here, you can adjust this seat from these buttons here. Now, it is quite cool for me, but it will obviously annoy someone who is sitting in the front. So when you start fidgeting with all this stuff, you get your own personalized AC settings over here, which controls these two here. And these back seats, they are heated, but they are not cool. Now, shade is a problem? Oh, don't worry, you got it covered. There you go. How cool is that?
So far, the GV70 has proved that it is not what we expected from Korea. It's so much cooler. Anyway, let's take it for a drive and see what it performs like.
Okay, let's go for a drive in the GV70. Gavin, which mode do you want to start with?
Let's start with comfort.
Okay, jumping on to comfort. Now, one thing we can confidently say is this car's sound insulation is on a completely different level. We've been driving this for the past 2 weeks now, and Gavin, thoughts?
It is an absolute machine. Like, it's so nice, it's so comfortable. Like Hyundai Genesis has thought of every single aspect that they could perfect and better with a Hyundai, and they just made this.
Yeah, honestly, I can't believe that this is a Hyundai, because nothing about this screams Hyundai. It's a completely different vibe that you get from this car.
Also, like, the thing is, like, in the last few years, we've seen Kia and Hyundai step up their game really well and establish themselves in an already established market with their cars, because their cars are known to be reliable.
Yeah.
But now they made their cars to be reliable and good looking.
And luxury.
And Hyundai to come out with Genesis to outperform like Lexus.
Yeah. And I think honestly,
rather than I'm not saying bad about Lexus, but compared to the Lexus SUVs that are produced, this has to be better looking.
Yeah, I think I would get this over any Lexus any day. And the driving bit. Now we're currently on comfort mode. This car is on traditional coils, so it's not an air suspension, but it honestly feels like it's an air suspension.
It is extremely soft.
And it's extremely soft, especially on comfort mode. You don't really feel anything on the road.
And also, like, even if you are sitting in the front, if you're sitting in the back as passenger, it's smooth.
Incredible. Yeah. And sound insulation. Now that is something that has surprised me by far. This car's sound insulation is like a Mercedes S400. So that's the benchmark that they've gone for, and it is nothing short but amazing. And braking. This car's brakes, even though it's not a performance car, are actually amazing. They stop like, what stops fast? They stop like a car hitting a wall at 70 miles per hour. It just does the job very, very good, nicely. And that's something that we found out when we let someone else drive it, and then they lose to braking at the last minute, and it surprised them as well. For a massive SUV, the brakes are absolutely amazing. Now let's jump onto sports mode. Okay, the second you jump onto sports mode, the seats hug you, and that was a feature that we saw in the GLS63. Now the GLS63 is a $250,000 SUV.
It was also in the BMW XM.
Yes, but both of them are like what, 300 grand?
Almost 300 grand for driver.
This is $98,000, okay?
$101,000 for driver.
Nah, $98,000 driver for the 2.5 liter and $109,000 for the V6. I would recommend getting the V6. Now this is the 2.5 liter engine. Let's go over this. we've been driving this, it doesn't feel underpowered at all. I think despite it being a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo, it's actually a pretty great engine.
Yeah.
But I would suggest that you get the V6 because
It just gives you that extra power.
exactly. Because this car on the outside and on the inside is fantastic, and you kind of want an engine that matches that. So I would highly recommend getting the V6. But the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, nothing wrong with it. Honestly, this is the car that we've been driving for the last 2 weeks, and it surprised me. Even the enhanced noise. Now this car is a 4-cylinder. Okay, this car is a 4-cylinder, but the enhanced noise is from a V8. Listen to this. There's not one 4-cylinder in this world that sounds like that. So I'm not too sure why Hyundai made it sound like a
There is
V8.
an electric vehicle that does sound like that. The Ford Mustang EV.
Marquee, yeah. But back to this car. Now, one thing that we haven't tested is the acceleration. But the thing is, who cares about how fast this car accelerates? This is not a sports car. This is genuinely a luxury car from Korea, and it does deliver that. Now, anyway, we're just gonna test acceleration as well.
Yep.
Okay, ready? Do we launch?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna launch the car a little. This does have launch control, by the way. Did you know that? That is surprising. Okay. Complete stop. Oh, that was a brake boost and launch. Not bad. I mean, it does get to 60 pretty quick. And another thing that we have to go through is this car's handling. This is an all-wheel drive car, so there is no problem when it comes to handling. Even though this is a big car, surprisingly there's not a lot of body roll, so the chassis is very stiff, and that's a very good thing because this does give you that feeling of a sports car, and that's something that I genuinely love about this. Anyway, overall driving, I will say this. This is literally the nicest luxury car that I've driven. I mean, how many luxury cars have you driven? The S400, the G-Wagon, the the GLE63S, the XM. We've driven so many luxury cars, and this is by far the best luxury car that I've driven.
It's the best price-wise.
Yeah, literally.
Because the XM and the G-Wagon, they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
But they're just too overly priced for what it is.
Exactly.
Like,
and the thing is, like the G-Wagon and the XM, they've got V8s. Honestly, it doesn't fucking matter.
But you really do not want to be spending $250,000.
Yes. And
for that.
before we get on, those are final thoughts. So let's get on to our final thoughts.
And that brings us to our final thoughts on the GV70. Yep, we still think it's a cool car, but here's what we really think of it.
Where do we start? This vehicle has to be one of the best vehicles we've driven so far. When I mean driven, it's not only the aspect of this vehicle, of us driving this vehicle. It's perfect on almost every single aspects of what the car is based on. Now, this vehicle is completely, it is breathtaking. And for what this vehicle is, a Korean manufacturer, which has upped their game so much. And the exterior, just with the exterior, people have come up to me asking if it's Aston Martin. People have asked you if it's a Bentley.
Yep.
Like, to get compliments like that has to be one of the best design manufacturers' dreams.
Yeah.
I would have to give this vehicle, not because I want to give it the perfect score, but I want to give it a 9.5. But I'm lost for words because this is such a great car. Nothing about this vehicle would scream like needs improvement, because there's some vehicles you would think, oh, it's good, needs a bit more power, but this is perfect. What do you think?
Okay, let me make a very bold statement. Out of the 63 cars that we've filmed, I've always had the question, out of them, what would I buy? And honestly, I wasn't so eager to buy any of them. But this is a car I would personally buy if I had $98,000. If I can finance, because I'm on a student visa, work visa, I can't. But if I can finance, I would buy this car. I would literally go to Genesis today and buy one. This is perfect. This is literally perfect. There's nothing that I don't like about this car. There's literally nothing that I don't like except for the fact that it should have got soft close doors. Anyway, I think this... Damn, bless you, bro.
I'm sick.
Anyway, back to the point. What was I even saying before he sneezed 3 times in a row? Okay, this car is literally perfection. Exterior wise, I give it a 10. I think it's one of the best looking SUVs ever made. Interior, one of the best interiors I've seen on any car.
And it's also clean.
Literally, it's so clean. And finally, engine, I would recommend the V6. This is the 2.5 liter, but I would still buy it. Anyway, last thing is the overall pricing of this car. I think this is priced perfectly. This is a bargain. It's a bargain for $98,000 because you get all the features of a BMW XM. You get all the features of like a proper luxury car for the price which is like 1/3 of the price of a BMW XM or a G-Wagon or a GLC or anything which is extra fucking expensive like the Bentley. I would get this over a Bentley because it's perfection. It's priced so good. I absolutely love this car. That's literally what I will say.
And this is one of the vehicles that, because we've had this vehicle for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Within the first hour of us driving this, we loved it.
Yeah.
And we both said this is a vehicle we would buy.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
This is a bold statement coming from us because we've driven Lamborghinis, we've driven lots of fancy vehicles, but this just hits that sweet spots.
Yeah,
that
this is
a lot of vehicles don't hit.
This is perfection. This is the only car that I would tell you, go and buy one. Honestly, go and buy one. And I'm gonna miss this car when it goes us. I miss this so much that I emailed Genesis and then told them to give it to us for 1 more week because I want to do more videos on it. And that's how much I love this car. If I have the money, dude, I would get this. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
Nah, Genesis.
Give us a commission.
You've done an excellent job.
Yeah, I think, oh my god, Genesis stepped their game up. This is perfection. And that's where we'll leave the video.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Buy this Genesis, and if you have a Genesis and you want to lend it out to us for like a month or 2 or a year, hey, we'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll take it.
Anyway, have a good one, guys. We'll see you in the next video.